Here's today's First Word Daily Devotion.
We continue to consider the tabernacle this morning on February the 12th in Exodus chapter 28, but I want to point out something to you. That is, this language that's used, especially as it relates to the construction of the tabernacle. Moses is to call those who are skillful. Look here in verse 3. Shall speak to all the skillful, those whom I have filled with a spirit of skill, that they may make Aaron garments to consecrate him for my priesthood. And then again we see this word repeated. It's verse 6, there it is, skillfully. Verse 8, skillfully. Look again, it comes back in verse 27, skillfully. Verse 28, skillfully. And then look at what all of this is for. This is for verse 30. Aaron shall bear the judgment of the people of Israel on his heart before the Lord regularly. So God is calling those whom He has designed, those, since He's the creator of all, those that He's given a particular skill, to use their skill, to use their talents for God's glory. And that's an important lesson for us to learn. God has something for us to do. Look in particular as we think about something that God has for us to do. In particular, before we leave Exodus 28, think about Aaron. This is a huge responsibility, but it's a responsibility that he bears alone, but it's not simply him that bears it, it's the whole people of God. Thus you have those who are skillful, whom God has put the spirit of skill upon. They are working to accomplish this garment so that Aaron can perform his priestly function. Look how dangerous this is. Look at verse 34, some of these elements. A golden bell and a pomegranate around the hem of the robe, and it shall be on Aaron when he ministers, and its sound shall be heard when he goes into the holy place before the Lord, and when he comes out, so that he does not die. God is reminding His people that He is holy. Their place is to walk before Him. And the only way that we can have a relationship with God and walk with Him is in holiness. Look at verse 43 of Exodus 28. And they shall be on Aaron and his sons when they go into the tent of meeting, or when they come near to the altar to minister to the holy place, lest they bear guilt and die. This shall be a statute forever for him and for his offspring after him. And so God has called each of us, because He has filled each of us with His Spirit as believers in Jesus. He has called each of us to minister and to work for Him. And it's providential in our reading as we think about the skill that God has given you. It's providential that we turn to Matthew chapter 25 in our New Testament reading, where we hear this parable of the talents. Of course, Jesus puts this parable in the context of the hour of His return. And here's what we know. God is holy. We learn that all through the Bible. And when God comes, we're going to have to give an account. And in particular, what did we do with the gifts and the talents that God has given us? And here's what happens. We have this parable of the talents. Pay attention to the language in Matthew chapter 25 as it unfolds. You have two servants who took their talents and used them skillfully, we should say, and produced a profit for their master. One, however, was lazy. One took his talent and hid it, and thereby incurred judgment. And this is the point, verse 29, for to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not even what he has will be taken away. So in other words, think about this today. God has given you talents. He's given you a responsibility. You are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. And the question that you need to ask is, how will you cultivate what you have been given for the glory of the Lord? And I can think of no better way for us to close our time together today on this February the 12th than in Psalm 39 in this prayer in verse 4, 5, and 6. Let's close with this prayer. O Lord, make me know my end, and what is the measure of my days. Let me know how fleeting I am. Behold, you have made my days a few handbreadths, and my lifetime is as nothing before you. Surely all mankind stands as a mere breath. Surely a man goes about as a shadow. Surely for nothing they are in turmoil. Man heaps up wealth and does not know who will gather. And now, O Lord, for what do I wait? My hope is in you. Isn't that your hope today? Our hope is in the Lord.